Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Tonight's video might be a little bit shorter than normal because I'm just going to be addressing a couple of things. The first of which has been the messages about AI and the discussions that have been going on in the comment section, but also people emailing me and sending messages on other social media sites. And a common point of view seems to be that people who say that they don't really have a problem with AI, it's just doing something that humans do anyway, when they're talking about humans that are listening to music and being influenced by that music and then writing their own songs and coming up with their own compositions. And people are referring to that as the same thing that AI is doing. And I'm doing a video about it, mentioning it, because it means that I don't have to keep typing it out, the same thing, to people who are coming up with this same point of view about it. I think the first problem comes with people categorizing AI as its own entity, that it is thinking for itself and it's AI, it's not human. But people don't necessarily appreciate that it is a human who has designed AI and who tells it what to do, that they've designed the algorithm and they have told it how to learn. So it is just carrying out what it's been told to do. So it's not something that's going off and doing its own thing and, it's listening to music and being inspired itself and, coming up with what it comes up with through its own mind. It's using a set of parameters that it has been programmed with by a human in order to take that information and effectively randomize it, but it is still a process that has to be programmed in order for AI to be able to do that. So it's important to understand that humans are designing and programming AI. It's not something that you would just go and leave it to do its own thing and then all of a sudden it's now creating songs having never heard a song before, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't do that. And getting to the argument of humans and being inspired by songs, because you could say that, well, a human wouldn't know what a song is unless they'd heard it in the first place. So when we dive into that process of a human listening to another human, a musician, an artist, and being inspired by them. In my own personal example, I listened to Jimi Hendrix, and I was inspired by Jimi Hendrix to play the guitar, to try and learn what he was doing and try and figure it out by listening to his songs, because I had his albums, his songs, and my dad had his albums on vinyl. So I had them on CD because, in the 90s, CDs came around. So it means that I didn't have to keep putting the record on. But we had the music, i.e. we had purchased the music and we were being inspired by that. So when we're looking at that process, Jimi Hendrix, if he's the example of the artist in this particular case, he went into a studio, he made music, and he then distributed, or a company distributed that music, and Jimi Hendrix was fully aware that he was making music for other humans to listen to. And if a human listened to his music and then got inspired by it, he has already accepted that because he's put his music out there. And I'm sure that he'd be quite happy inspiring people to make their own music. If there was an artist who then said, oh, I'm inspired by Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy wouldn't say, oh, hang on, that's not fair, because that wasn't part of the agreement. Of course it's part of the agreement. When you put your music out there, you are intentionally giving permission for people to listen to your music. That's the way it works. So when we now talk about this with reference to AI is using people's music without the consent. So somebody can go in the studio, they can record their music, somebody can then buy the music, listen to it, it can be listened to by fans, and they could be inspired by the music, but then a company take that music without permission and feed it to AI so that AI can use that music to then come up with its own songs, or use, pieces of that song potentially in order to make songs from what you've actually come up with yourself. And they haven't asked you to do that. The company have not got your permission to do that in the first place. So that's the difference. And this all happens before you even get into the argument of, oh, well, AI is just doing what humans do. AI is a computer program. But even if we're seeing it like that, AI has not been given the permission by the creator of the music in the first place for it to be used to train AI models. The bands, artists, when they were in the studio, they weren't recording the vocals, recording the guitar, finishing it all, mixing it, getting it mastered, and then going to AI companies and saying, oh, hi guys, here you go, use this to train your AI models. No band has ever done that. It's always been the other way round, that the AI companies have said, right, we're going to take that. Oh, hang on, we can take hundreds of thousands of songs if we're now not following the law anymore, and use all of those to train our AI models to come up with different songs for people who will then pay us for what we are creating. And this has been created off the back of other musicians and artists, because if it didn't have all of that data, it wouldn't be able to create anything. So when we're now looking at that equation, AI companies are now charging, a monthly fee for people to create songs that are being created through the knowledge that the AI has gained illegally from people's songs when they didn't give AI permission to do that in the first place. Or should I say, they didn't give the developers permission to do that in the first place. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, that it's not about how AI works, it's the consent that has not been given in the first place to train the AI models. That's where the illegality of it has taken place. And that's why I said that it's all gone too far, because we are so far past this point of giving consent. It was all taken anyway. So now we're massively down the line, so far down that road that I don't know if we can ever, come back from that, as I said in that original video. So there's all of that on AI. Now, talking about the videos that I do, the objective analysis videos, looking at live performances and also just videos where I'm pointing out that a voice might have been pitch corrected, might have been auto-tuned, might have been pre-recorded and pitch corrected. And then we're watching a video of the singers not actually singing, but it looks like it's that and it has been set up in that particular way. Sometimes, some people would say, to intentionally look like it is them singing live in that scenario. What I want to address are the people who might be closely related to band members or singers that I might have featured on the channel and just pointed out exactly what's happening. I'm not making up lies or fabricating anything. It's all objective data, objective proof that we're looking at on screen. And what I would say is, for bands and artists that are maybe recording these types of videos, there's two ways that it can go. Either just be honest about it and say what you're doing if people ask about it, and if people say, oh, wow, this is an amazing performance in this particular place, if the artist or band reply and say, oh, no, it wasn't actually recorded in that place, but we just did that for the video, we pre-recorded it. And they might not even mention about the pitch correction, but, that would be nice to be honest and just say, oh, we pre-recorded it and pitch corrected it, because then everybody will know. And the problem is they don't mention it because I think they view that as devaluing their video, because people will think, well, if you've pre-recorded it and pitch corrected it, then it's not what it looks like. So I think that's maybe a huge part of the reasoning for being dishonest about it and not really putting people right when you can see that they're clearly assuming it's something that it's not. But now when we're talking about family members who might, I don't know, get annoyed or frustrated that I've just said what's going on, I feel like saying, don't shoot the messenger. I haven't done this. This is how it's been filmed. This is how it's been recorded, and it has been pitch corrected. So don't have a go at me. Take up the issue with the people that you are close to, if they are family members, and ask them why they are doing it in such a way that it can then be pointed out, and then that family member can then be annoyed that it's been pointed out that that's what's going on. So yeah, it is very much the case that I would say to musicians in the future and singers, considering that I know it can be pointed out, and if their particular performance gets requested, there's every likelihood that I'm going to be pointing out on my channel that it might be pre-recorded, it might be pitch corrected, and the artist will know what they have done. So I would say, just to be on the safe side, if you don't want it being pointed out, and if family members don't want it being pointed out and just shown for what it is, then don't do it in the first place. That's always going to be the safest route. Just literally perform where you are, because then everything will be absolutely as it is in the video, and I will point that out and I'll say they are genuinely performing this and it's not pitch correct and all these different things. So yeah, the safest route is always just to be honest, and that's if you are pre-recording pitch correcting things. But the other side of it is just do it. Just do it like they did back in the day, because I know there's a lot of pressure in society nowadays to have to conform and have to tune everything and have to be perfect all the time. But if you want to just be totally authentic and transparent, you can just do it, and then all of the comments that you'll get on the internet and on your channel will be genuine. So when they say, oh wow, this is an amazing performance, they are talking about your actual performance, which for me has got to be more rewarding. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe people are thinking it's just as rewarding to get compliments for something that you didn't do, and you know you didn't do it, than actually knowing that you genuinely did something and people are saying that it's good and are complimenting you about it. For me personally, as an artist, it would be so much better to have that, to know that you have done it all yourself and people are saying that it's good. And the great thing about that, even if people say it's rubbish, it doesn't matter because you did it. So you can say that, yeah, but I am doing this. I am being honest about it. I'm literally performing as I am as an artist. So what I'm doing is 100% authentic. I've not tried to falsify anything here. So if people don't like it, then that's fine. But if they then go and like another video that isn't authentic, then but that's their issue, that they don't know what they're watching. And unfortunately, I mean, that's why I point out what I do, because a lot of people don't really understand what's going on now and who the real performers are and who the real performers aren't, and the ones that are fabricating videos, pre-recording, pitch correcting, all that kind of stuff. So again, that's why I set up at Official Authentic Vocal. Check that out on YouTube. Authentic.vocal over on Instagram if you want that as well, because over the coming months and years, we will be featuring authentic vocalists and, yeah, just artists with the highest level of integrity in their live performances, so that you will know that what you're watching is truly live. Back to the point, and really addressing the family members or people that are close to artists or bands that I might have featured when I'm pointing out exactly what's happened. Don't shoot the messenger. The conversation is for you to have with those people that you are close to, that you're annoyed at me for just saying what they've done. If you think that using pitch correction and filming videos that aren't a true reflection of what's going on, if you think that's bad, have a go at them and say, why are you pre-recording your vocals and pitch correcting and then trying to make it look like you're doing it live when you're not? And then people are saying that it's great, and you're not correcting them, saying, oh no, but we didn't do it live. It's all pitch corrected, post-edited, pre-recorded, mimed, lip-synced for the video. That's what you need to go and ask your family members or the people that you're close to, because all I'm doing is pointing it out. I didn't do it. You've got to go to the source of how it happened in the first place. So videos requested, I point out what is going on, what is factually happening in what we're seeing and what we're hearing, And that's it. That's the end of it. And I'm not having a go at any artists or bands. I'm just saying what is going on. And then if there's an adverse reaction from yourself, if you feel frustrated or annoyed or angry at what I'm saying, it's not because of what I'm saying is untrue, it's because of what it implies. And that is now down to the creator, that there obviously hasn't been transparency when the thing has been created in the first place. So anyway, that is the video for tonight. As I said, covering a couple of points at the same time, but just because I get lots of messages that are, I suppose, the same kind of thing, and it's easier for me to answer it in a video on the channel in order to just have this to reference people to, copy and paste a link to an email or in reply to an email so people can see this rather than me typing out. I'm not the quickest typer in the world, so it takes me a very long time to type out this, as you can imagine. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it on some level, or that it's been informative. If you did enjoy it, or if it has been informative, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to as well for future analysis videos. And I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!